Hey guys, welcome back. First things first, hopefully the sound is a little better. You guys have been telling me in the comments that my voice has been a little low, so hopefully it's not too loud now, but hopefully it's a little bit better than it was before. So today we're going to go over the Fire Staff build that I've been using. I've mained Fire Staff since the game came out. In the betas that I played in, I played mostly Fire Staff. I play Fire Staff in all of my guild's wars as well as the invasions and Ice Gauntlet, but Fire Staff is what I mainly use. So I usually am in top 5 damage. The most recent war we had, I was top damage, and this build seems to be really solid for AoE, especially when you mix in the Ice Gauntlet. But today we're going to focus specifically on the Fire Staff. So we're going to go with Fire Mage. Pyromancer has a little bit better survivability and is a little bit more geared for close range and escape, but in wars, the mages are backline and just dishing out damage. So we're going to use Pillar of Fire, Meteor Shower, Fireball. Firstly, we're going to go Fire Strike, deals 40% more damage to foes at full health. This is insanely good in war because healers are constantly healing the point. Their tanks are constantly standing in the heals. So you're going to be hitting people with Pillar that are full health a lot. It is also good for PvE, but this is mainly a build that I use for PvP. We're going to pass on Arson's Advantage. It is pretty good, but with the heavy attack build that we're doing, we're going to be fine on mana. We're going to be using heavy attacks, restore 5% of your max mana on hit, so hits will restore 5 mana. We're also going to be using heavy attacks, reduce fire staff cooldowns by 10% on hit. So we are going to be focusing, I purely do heavy attacks with this build because this also is included flare. Heavy attacks no longer consume mana. So the idea is that you'll throw down your AoEs for Ice Gauntlet, switch to Fire Mage, throw out your spells, and then focus on heavy attacks, which will help you regain your mana and will also reduce the Fire Staff cooldown. So always pop these cooldowns when you switch to Fire Staff. Next, we're going to have well above 50% mana, you gain 10% in power, more damage. For this build, if you're focusing Fire Staff, we're most likely going to be close to full mana, if not maybe 50-60 at least. So that is an insanely good skill. For Meteor Shower, we're going to go Immolation. The initial hit of Meteor Shower gives you 1% of your max mana. That's going to give you a little bit more mana, but that's not why we're going down the rest of the Meteor Shower tree. Fiery Determination adds Grit while casting Meteor Shower. Grit adds stagger resistance to stop attacks from being interrupted. This is going to keep your Meteor Shower up longer in fights and can't get interrupted. You're going to want your Meteor Shower on point and on the gates as much as possible for maximum damage. But here's the real reason why we're going down the Meteor Fire tree. All hits after the initial impact now deal 25% weapon damage. So that's just 25% flat damage increase to Meteor Shower after the first couple hits. And people who are in your Meteor Shower, they aren't going to move. They're not going to get off point and they're not going to get off the gate. So this is going to do an insane amount of damage for your Meteor Shower. So Runes of Helios is just a given. It's the ultimate for Fire Mage tree. Casting a fire spell places a 2-meter rune on the ground, increasing spell damage by 30% while standing in the rune. Rune lasts for 7 seconds. Cooldown is 30 seconds. So you're going to have, what is that, about 20% uptime maybe, somewhere around there. My math is probably terrible. I don't know if that's even close, but yeah, 7 out of 37 seconds, which is close to 7 out of 35. Yeah, around there, I think. So increase your spell damage by 30% is just insane. So whenever you cast it and your rune pops, you're going to want to stay in your rune as much as possible. If you need to get out for AoE defense, then do what you got to do, but this is one of your best abilities here. For Pyromancer tree, we are going to take a couple things. Let's go over what we passed here. We passed over Singe. When you get a critical hit with Fire Staff, cause burning. We're already going to get a little bit of burning anyway, but 3% weapon damage isn't huge. If you factor that in, 3% weapon damage each second for 6 seconds, that's 18% weapon damage. That's basically less than a light attack every 6 seconds, so it's not too great. If you haven't taken damage for the last 3 seconds, deal 10% more damage. This is a pretty decent skill, but most likely people are going to be attacking the backline in wars, and you're not going to be completely free for more than 3 seconds fairly often. For Fireball, Fireball's burning field persists for 9 seconds. This is a pretty good talent, but for this build, I'm not going to take it because we're focusing on Meteor Shower and Pillar of Fire. So, catch, direct hits with Fireball give you 10% of your max mana and reduces your Fire Staff cooldowns by 7%. This is fairly good, particularly the cooldown reduction, but it is specifically for mana regen, and the build that we're doing already has a lot of mana regen in it, so we don't need this. Fireball is a great skill, that is for sure, but it's not something that we're going to focus on for this build. So in Pyromancer, we are going to take a couple items. We're going to take Pyromania while holding the Fire Staff, and below 50% max HP, damage is increased by 20%. This is just mostly a filler to get some in later in the Pyromancer tree, but this is very good. If you're low health, you're going to be dealing 20% more damage. If you get singled out in a 1 versus 1, and you're taking a lot of damage, it'll basically give you, not Berserk because you're not increasing your attack speed or anything like that, but it'll give you a heavy damage buff if you need to finish out a solo and get back to your group. Next, we're going to take Let It Burn. Whenever burn deals damage, gain 10% Fortify for 2 seconds. This is insanely good. Burn damage is a constant when you are using Fire Mage. You'll basically have this up at all times. So you'll have 10% damage reduction. This is super key to this build. I'm running light armor. A lot of people have been saying that the light armor buffs and medium armor buffs are not working, so you need to run heavy armor in wars. But I am still running light armor. I already have all of my gear for the faction stuff specced out for light gear, and I'm not going to just go farm heavy armor. I've heard that you still get the 8% damage buff while it's not 20, or I believe 16%, and it was 8% for medium. So it's a little bit less than what it's saying right now, but it's still insanely good. And I really like how the roll dodge feels. I can't go back to using the just shift with medium and heavy armor. It just doesn't feel right for me. So we're definitely going to need this Fortify. The next point we're taking is Kindle. Burning lasts 20% longer. This is going to help proc Let It Burn and keep it consistently up. We're going to want to be burning and burning and burning and burning and burning. So next we're going to take Watch It Burn. This is more of a filler talent for the next one. Light attacks cause the enemy to catch fire, dealing 3% weapon damage each second. It is a filler, but it also helps with Let It Burn because it's going to help proc those. We'll throw in, this is a heavy attack, heavy build, but throwing in a couple light attacks to keep your burn up is always a great idea to keep Let It Burn up. Watch It Burn, sorry, Let It Burn, confusing. So this is the final talent that we're going to get, Combat Speed. When you activate a Fire Staff ability to gain 10% haste for 5 seconds. With the cooldown reduction build that we're going, we have some pretty decent cooldown reduction. Haste for 5 seconds, potentially a 33% uptime of haste in a fight is extremely good. If you get singled out in 1 versus 1s, haste is amazing for creating a gap between you and the melee opponent. Haste is also extremely good for getting between points and getting to the objectives. So that's about it for this build. There are some gear item talents that are really helpful, particularly Pillar of Fire hits reduce cooldown on Pillar of Fire. That is one that works very good with any build that uses Pillar of Fire. So yeah, that's it for this build. If you guys would like to see it in action, I have posted a couple war videos that you guys should definitely check out. I would love to hear your guys' modifications to this build, or what potentially Pyromancer builds you guys are doing, or if you have a Fire Mage build that's a bit different than mine that you've been finding success with. I would love to hear it. Thank you guys very much for listening. Please subscribe, and I'll be doing more videos for a lot of the different weapons. I do a lot of legendary weapons weapon videos as well as with the Weapon Mastery 20 missions. I do have Prime Resolve, so I got the 20 Weapon Mastery gears, the 20 Weapon Mastery staff missions done, and I also just got Rhyme Lash, which is the equivalent for Ice Gauntlet. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and happy hunting. Good luck in the wars with this fire staff build. Let me know if you have any success trying it out.